I got Dixie crystals running through my brain. I'm doing 135 in the passing lane. Shaking hands, white knuckles, blood on the wheel. I've been running on fumes since I left Mobile. But I don't feel nothing, don't feel no pain. I got Dixie crystals running through my brain. Cousin Donnie's on the corner with some Irish rose. Mama's hanging down with God only knows. My head's cracking open, can't blow my nose. Grandpappy pissed himself in his Sunday clothes. Baby screaming in the kitchen, driving me insane. She got Dixie crystals running through her brain. Got hydrochloric acid and red phosphate, pseudoephedrine from the Sunshine State. No lean cuisine, we just shaking day. We got little girls lining up, giving it away. All for a ride on that nothing train. They got Dixie crystals running through their brain. What don't kill me now is gonna kill me in the end. Amen. I'm never sleeping again, never sleeping again. I'm running with the white devil into the wind. The only thing better than playing to win and playing to lose, and it's a goddamn sin. But tomorrow's 3 or 4 days away. I got Dixie crystals running through my brain. Yeah, tomorrow's 3 or 4 days away. I got Dixie crystals running through my brain. I think music is just like any kind of art form. It's a way to interpret, the human experience. Humans, we need to be in touch with to survive. And, I think it's not music for everybody. It's art for some people. It's television for other people. It's unhealthy, deviant behavior for other people. Some of us, it's all of the above, And music is a good one because it kind of, it acts on a lot of your senses. Where art, you have to have art is generally visual. And you have to have like a certain amount of knowledge of art to appreciate a lot of the better art. But music, you can just take someone who's never listened to music before, or somebody, like an Amish person or someone from the Amazon or something, and just play music for them. They're going to have a visceral reaction to it. And I think that there is certainly some art that has that same effect. But I think that for the most part, music is really the art form that's kind of most easily digested and maybe the most effective for me, for sure. Yeah, I think the creative process is it's a fine line between forcing or not, it's a fine line between, you can't force a song, but you also kind of can't just sit around and wait for inspiration to hit you. You know, you got to kind of, like there's a Henry Miller quote that I really like. He says, when I can't create, I work. And I like that. You know, if you got to sit down and you know, work on the song really on a daily basis if you can. And, you know, but know when to be like, all right, I'm going to take my foot off the gas and I'm going to let it come to me, but not just be like, you know, flip a table and say, well, this isn't coming on the arbitrary timeline that I've set up for a song, which is kind of, you know, I mean, how can you set a timeline for something that exists outside of space and time?
And there's a hard wind blowing across the Mobile Bay, and I'm sitting here waiting on my luck to change. I walked for miles in a dead man's shoes. I was looking to get lost, but I found you. We danced all night to that Cajun band, and I watched the stars falling in the burning sand. Maybe I'll get there one of these days.
I think that things are always going to change. And, you know, I think it's easy to fall into the trap and of thinking that, oh, you know, if this was this way, or if I was making this music in the 90s, you'd have a big money record deal. And man, like, you got no control over that. And you know, you can think that, doesn't make it true. It doesn't even mean that would have been the case. I think that, you know, all you can do as an artist is make art, you know?
Uncle Boudreaux went to Texas long before he crossed that Beaumont line. He'd seen those dusty highways rolling through the shadows of his mind. He sang them old hill country songs you learn at the church of the Zenith radio. Uncle Boudreaux went to Texas, and he might be there still for all I know. Born and raised in Louisiana, he said it never felt too much like home. I guess home is hard to find when you can't find a thing to make your own. He worked at the refinery, he drank Dixie beer, and he smoked those old Pall Malls. Cause a little trouble now and then, but then again, haven't we all? Some folks never figure out where home ends and the whole wide world begins. Face pressed up against the window looking in. Me, I like sitting in the light, watching Uncle Boudreaux sing his way to Texas every night. He played me those old Waylon songs, and he screwed his eyes shut tight with every line. swore he met Townes Van Zandt outside a bar in Houston this one time. I always did believe him. My daddy told me that he was full of shit. He said the closest Boudreaux ever got to Texas was Willie's greatest hits. Some folks never figure out where home ends and the whole wide world begins. Face pressed up against the window looking in. Me, I like sitting in the light, watching Uncle Boudreaux sing his way to Texas every night. I've got a faded photograph of a young man smiling frozen in his prime. And that's all Boudreaux left behind. Signed, Cactus Cafe, Austin, 1989. Some folks never figure out where home ends and the whole wide world begins. Face pressed up against the window looking in. Me, I like sitting in the light, watching Uncle Boudreaux sing his way to Texas every night.
I was born in London and I grew up in New York City. I left England when I was about 18 months old. My first memory of music, I think, was hearing Jimi Hendrix. I have a really kind of concrete image in my mind of the first time I heard All on the Watchtower, and it was like my whole brain exploded into this kind of Technicolor menagerie. You know, it was just. It was different than anything I'd experienced up to that point, at least different from anything I remember up to that point. And it was kind of from that moment on, my life was ruined. Company Town was a song that just kind of started coming to me driving around the country and just through a lot of, when you're a touring songwriter, you travel through a lot of kind of out of the way places that you might not visit on your daily journey, commute, traveling to, the more desirable locales maybe. So, and it kind of, you can't help but feel like this whole country, not to be too generalized too much, but I mean, it's pretty obvious that it has been pretty drastically sold out to corporate interests, and corporate, power is they basically dictate policy. And so, not only are there literal company towns, but it's hard to not think of like the whole world as some kind of real company town. When you think about who's holding the power, who's dictating policy, who are the people who are profiting off people's misery. It's really hard not to feel that way.
This old town's been flatlined now for close on 30 years. And the last to see it coming were the folks who live round here. Creek caught fire again last week. The farms have all shut down. It's gonna be another hard winter in this company town. Some went under slowly, waiting on the weather to change. Some, like Uncle Charlie, found they couldn't take the strain. He pulled up to the bank one Sunday morning in the pouring rain, scrawled "I'm sorry" on a Wendy's bag and put a bullet in his brain. In a company town, in a company town, we're all living in a company town. In a company town, in a company town, we're all living in a company town. There's a sinkhole past the cornfields that sucks the good ones in. Man, I know it's there, 'cause when folks leave, we never see 'em round here again. Now it's hollow-eyed and coyote-faced strangers at the gates, driving brand new pickup trucks without a state license plate. We're scratching out a living, trying to stay above the ground, but you work with what you're given in a company town. In a company town, in a company town, we're all living in a company town. In a company town, in a company town, we're all living in a company town. Yonder on the highway, in some old hand-me-down suit, walks a dream, ground to dust beneath the heel of a rich man's boot. Money bought the farms, money bought the meth, but it won't bring back the good old days or take that bullet out of Charlie's head. In a company town, in a company town, we're all living in a company town. In a company town, in a company town, we're all living in a company town.
It's hard to kind of, you know, with hindsight and with you know, grown up brain to go back and analyze what I was thinking as a child. Is all I remember is just kind of standing in front of the speakers. My parents had like a little CD player and speakers, and I just remember just being kind of like nailed to the floor. You know, I just remember it was like hearing, like synesthesia, you know, like hearing a color. I just heard all these colors, man, from Jimi Hendrix's music, and the song was All on the Watchtower, and I remember that. I remember listening to Elvis a lot when I was a kid, and also the Everly Brothers. My brother and I had a band when we were 5 years old, where he was hitting on the pots and pans, and I was just strumming my dad's guitar. I couldn't play at all, but I was just singing these Everly Brothers songs, and I don't know, it's kind of it's your entryway into like a magic, like a world with no frame of reference, you know, where it's like being in an H.P. Lovecraft story. Like the angles are all wrong. There's no geometry. There's nothing makes sense, and it's just like a drug, you know. It really is, and so you get that in you when you're a little kid with your developing sense of consciousness and your developing mind, and you're screwed. You've got, you know, that's your life. You know, you're never gonna not be looking for that kind of feeling. Anderson's Small Ritual is another song that just kind of came to me. Just the phrase was I was on the Kerrville Folk Festival, New Folk Winners Tour, and we had like some random words thrown together for song prompts, and I chose out these three, Anderson's Small Ritual, and I just thought, what is Anderson's Small Ritual? And then just kind of reverse engineered the song.
Anderson's Small Ritual was a well-worn family joke. We let him have his secrets, but we always kinda hoped one day he'd come back to the fold. Although it's understood you can wish in one hand and shit in the other, neither one won't do no good. Peach schnapps was his poison, said it always went down clean. He drank it from a hip flask that he kept tucked in his jeans. He'd show up to family functions, forget things in his car. I went out there once on a dare, it was like a mini bar. I keep one eye on the women, I keep one eye on the stars. Never trust any man if he don't have no scars. Don't let the bottle empty, don't let it overflow. Tomorrow ain't a promise, the life you save might be your own. Anderson's Small Ritual ended late last fall. Some guys from the bar went to check on him and had to kick down the door. Said it looked like he was sleeping, his face was white as snow. All dressed up in a big blonde wig, Dolly Parton on the radio. The wake was one hell of a party, everyone was there. Late that night when they all passed out, I crept down the stairs. I opened up his coffin to check that he was dead. Then I filled his old flask full of schnapps and tucked it underneath his head. I keep one eye on the women, I keep one eye on the stars. Never trust any man if he don't have no scars. Don't let the bottle empty, don't let it overflow. Tomorrow ain't a promise, the life you save might be your own.